Hey guys, this is Nefarious411 and welcome to episode 80 of my modded survival series. It has been a while since I recorded last, mainly due to lots of stuff going on with my day job. Yes, I do have a day job, and I've been dealing with that for a while. And honestly, I have been struggling with coming up with ideas for this series. There's a lot of mods that I haven't really touched on, and with a suggestion from Ben Fusco, I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, so I'm sorry, but I have decided to go ahead and look into PneumaticCraft. I have never used this mod before, so it's all new to me. One of the reasons I never actually used this mod before is because of the way you get the plastics. I found these seeds to be extremely annoying, but with recent changes, probably within the last several months, it uses oil now to create these plastics. So I'm not exactly sure how far I'm going to go into this mod, but it might be interesting to see what the other mod has to offer, especially since I'm pretty well past the end game to my series. But it might be interesting, so we should go ahead and check it out. So let me go ahead and run downstairs. It's been a while since we've been down there, and I keep forgetting that I have this thing from Britannia, which is the Eye of the Flugel. It's been a while since I've been on the server. I did upgrade to the latest, maybe? I'm not sure if it's actually the latest. It's 1.7.0, I think, of the pack, mainly because I wanted to get into the PneumaticCraft stuff. And as you can see over here, I decided to go ahead and create a new room. I don't know if this room is going to be big enough, but it's at least right off the main area, and I thought it was going to be pretty nice here. So let's go ahead and get started with that. In order to do PneumaticCraft, and basically PneumaticCraft is all based upon, well, pneumatics. So it's all based on pressures and stuff like that. So if I type in, I am not sure how to pronounce this or spell this, E, there we go. Yeah, it's a long day today, but we need to be able to create some of these basic structures, and in order to do that, we need compressed iron. And really the only way to get compressed iron right off the bat is to use some TNT. So let me go ahead and create some TNT, and it looks like we already have, ooh, I am out of gunpowder. Looks like I actually do need to connect this at some point, because down here in my blood magic room, if you recall, I have this big barrel of gunpowder, and it is completely full of 160 stacks. So let me go ahead and get a few of those. I know that I've been using this for my Britannia area as well, so let me go ahead and get a few of these. That's probably good enough. This is a lot, actually. And let me go ahead and shift click this in a few times. And maybe I'll do it this way. This might be faster. There we go. So now I should have enough to create a single TNT. That's all I really need. TNT. For some reason, the clicking doesn't seem to be working the same way in this version of the pack. Like the ME terminal doesn't automatically receive focus, so I always have to click in there. But there's that, and I am going to grab maybe a few stacks. I mean, we have plenty of iron, so that's not an issue. 460,000 iron, no problem. And here it is again. I can't type immediately. Let me go ahead and grab just a button. I think that'll be fine, and probably a good place to do this. I'm just going to do this down in the bedrock area. This is probably as good a place as any. And let me go ahead and put that there. And we need to make sure that we don't have the ring of magnetization on, so that the iron will not get into our inventory. And if I do this correctly, can I do this? No. I guess I need a lever. Or maybe a block and the button. There we go. Yay! Alright. So that gave me a little bit under 3 stacks back, so I lost about a full stack. I didn't really count. Man, really? That was a lot waste. Well, that's unfortunate. Let me just make sure. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. That seemed to have used a lot. And I cannot find my elevator back. But that's not a problem because, again, we have 460,000 iron ingots, so I'm really not losing anything from this. So in order to start with this, we need the basic compressor, and this is going to require furnace, so let me go ahead and create a few of these. And I need a few of these pressure tubes. And what does the pressure tube use? Just normal glass. So let me go ahead and create some glass. I guess I don't have any on hand. There we go. Should probably create something to always have glass on hand, because otherwise this is going to be a pain. 24. Oh, that's not all I can do. There we go. Full stack. And 16 there. That's fine. And let's go ahead and create our PneumaticCraft generator, or air compressor. That's right. There we go. How many should we do? Maybe a couple of these guys. I really don't know how many I need. Let me go ahead and grab this stuff out. And we need to be able to create some of the other basics for what's called a pressure chamber. And in order to do that, we need pressure chamber walls, pressure chamber valve, window. It should be fairly simple and straightforward to create. I'm not exactly sure how many I need to create. But let me go ahead and create some glass. So I think it's a 3x3 structure, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be... it's too late to do some math, so I am just going to wing it. There we go. I am not exactly sure where to put this guy. Maybe in the middle should be fine. I think it's supposed to be a 3x3. I don't know if it can be any bigger than that, but we'll go ahead and try it as such. So let me go ahead and create the basic structure here. There we go. And I think I need that bottom piece. Not sure what I need for the other parts. I think I need to go ahead and get majority of this up and running. I think I do need a couple of valves at least. I didn't really look at the other recipes to see what I needed on these. Let's see. Pressure chamber valve. Yeah, that looks about right. So let me go ahead and grab one set of that. I think these might be able to get bigger, but with the basic stuff, I don't think we should get any bigger. And do I have enough supplies to create a window? Pneumatic pressure chamber window. I think that's what I need. So let me go ahead and grab one bit of that, and that is 16. And if I did this right, no, I need to have the valve stick out. So let me go ahead and redo that. There we go. Did that right, and I get a multi-block structure, which is pretty cool. And if you right click on it, you get this little nifty interface. This is basically the gauge to tell you how much pressure, air pressure, is in it. And of course, if it gets above 5, you're risking some kind of explosion. And unlike the BuildCraft and the what is this, the big reactors, those don't explode because I think it's been disabled. But I think the pressure chamber will explode and take out a large chunk of some of your base. So let me go ahead and hook up a couple of these air compressors here. And I think these can just use any kind of like charcoal or something like that. Let me see if I can place this easily. There we go. And as you can see, these tubes are hollow, which is really, really cool. If I were to put some charcoal in here now, which I might as well go ahead and do. Charcoal, coal. I have 572,000 coal. I don't really want to put too much in here because this will obviously cause some issues. And you can see that if you have a leak in your system, it will actually like output all of the air. So now if I were to get rid of that little leak there, you can see that it is gaining a little tiny bit of pressure because it is putting that pressure into the pressure chamber, and from my understanding it will completely balance out the system. So if I were to hook a lot of different things to this quote-unquote network, basically this pipe system, it would basically balance out between all of the other devices. But let me go ahead and put a few pieces of charcoal in here just to speed this up a little bit faster. And I can get up to about 4.5 to 5. I don't think I want to get 5 or above because that's getting into the territory of risking some kind of explosion. But you can see that I have about half a bar of pressure. And this should continue to pressurize. And we should be able to start putting things in there. I do have quite a bit of seeds left over from I don't know where I got these seeds, but I could just go ahead and grab them. Like here's ender plant seeds. The little note tooltip on it says plastic plants are being removed in favor of oil. They only exist to provide a smooth transition towards the oil system. I could just go ahead and throw all of these in here, any of the PneumaticCraft seeds, just so that I can go ahead and create all of the plastics for them. So I might as well actually do that, because the next thing that I want to create is, if I go back to PneumaticCraft, I kind of want to get one of these valves, or interfaces, sorry. And this one's fairly simple. It's just taking a pressure chamber wall with a hopper, and it creates a chamber interface. And I think I have enough, or I have a crafting recipe for a hopper. So let me go ahead and do that. And I think I might actually need a couple of these. So let me go ahead and create a few hoppers. I'm always in use of hoppers, so there's really no reason to not create extra hoppers. So let me go ahead and come over here. I can't exactly use this right now. Can I? I don't think I can. Let me pop this guy out. Yes, I lose a little bit of pressure. Did I put the right thing in? Yeah, this is a pressure chamber. I'm kind of interested to see how this works in this particular setup, because I don't think I can actually hopper anything into this right now, but let me go ahead and grab a hopper and see. All of this is new to me, so I am just experimenting to see what is even possible. Can I put rain plant seeds in there? Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. I can't even get to that interface. That's kind of unfortunate. Alright, so what I want to do, let me go ahead and get it up to a reasonable amount of pressure. And I do believe that these have some kind of redstone signal that comes out of them. So let me go ahead and grab some redstone. Let's go ahead and set that up before I walk away. And I'll just do the basic Minecraft mechanics here. And let me just get some Wayla going. And that is power 0. Do I need a comparator for this? Let me go ahead and create a comparator. I don't know if I need a vanilla one, or can I use one of the others? Well, I already have a Project Red comparator. So let me go ahead and grab one of these guys. Probably need to fill this with a little bit more coal. So that has the input and the output. That is still power 0. Maybe it's not on the air compressor itself. Let's see what other items that we have with PneumaticCraft. I think it's going to be something along the lines of one of these pressure gauges. So let's go ahead and create one of those. Can I do anything with this directly? I don't think so. No, didn't think so. What can this be used with? Looks like we can create a vacuum pump, safety tube module. Oh, I think this might be what I need. So let me go ahead and grab one of these guys and see what this does. So that does look like it gives me the ability to see how much pressure is in there. And this is where it sends the other redstone signal. Okay, that is pretty nice. So this looks like it's going to send out twice the amount of bars. So once that hits 3, the power should go up to 6. So give it a couple of seconds, and it looks like it went to 6. Okay, cool. So if we wanted this to stop, I think these receive a redstone signal to stop. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. And let's see, if I circle around like this, that is not going to work. I think I have to come in like that. Boop, boop, boop. And that is 0. I don't think that is far enough away to get it to stop, but we'll go ahead and run it that way to see. That is a little bit shorter than the other one, so let me go ahead and expand that by 1. And let's see what happens whenever this receives a redstone signal. So let me go ahead and fill these guys up. Might as well, because I think this will actually stop the air compressor once it receives any kind of redstone signal. And this one did, and I think it'll still burn the charcoal that's in there, but I don't believe it'll consume another one until it gets down below the amount of air pressure needed to basically turn off this little one redstone signal. Well, no, it is still going. I might have to look this up because I was under the assumption that this would actually stop, but this did not stop. This side has a power of 1 as well. I really don't want this to go any further because this will get to the point of explosions, and I don't want that. Of course, what I could do is go ahead and throw some seeds in here, and I will lose whatever pressure that's in there, which is unfortunate, but I think there's, oop, that was a valve, and that is not going to work because that is going to basically lose all of the pressure anyways. So now it's down back to half a bar of pressure, and those have started forming plastics, which is cool. So that basically just does away with those particular seeds. I could probably do that with the rest of the seeds in here. Just get them out of my system. Go ahead and convert them all into their respective plastics, and let me go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Alright, I think I figured out a couple of things. I went ahead and did the manual conversion on a lot of the seeds into their respective plastics, and that worked out really, really well. Except for the fact that I'm constantly, essentially losing all of the pressure every time I break one of these blocks. So I want to play around with that, but before we do that, one thing that I didn't realize is that there's a redstone behavior, just like all of the other machines out here, like the thermal expansion. You do have the ability to control based on redstone signal, and by default I think it just does it on any signal. So if you were to change this on low signal, that means that it will run while it's at power 0. But anything above power 0, it's going to stop. So let me go ahead and put it on low signal, and it looks like this one was already there because of my experimentation. So if we were to wait around a little bit on this, this should, well, let me go ahead and shortcut this a little bit by grabbing a lever. There we go. Let me go ahead and pop this guy down, and as soon as it gets a strong signal, it should actually stop. I'm assuming. This is my understanding. But, of course, it still has that little bit of leniency, because if it were to just get a piece of coal in right before it got to that pressure, it'll still burn that entire coal. So you want to make sure that you don't get it too close to the 5 mark. Otherwise, you might end up with an explosion. And as you can see, it finished off that little piece of coal, and this one stopped. This one's still running because, oh, it's at power 3. I am not sure why that is running. I think it may have did the exact same thing that I just mentioned. It consumed a piece of coal, and it just has to finish that coal before it actually stops generating pressure. So since I have 2 of these, I do have to make sure that these are probably stopping around the 4 mark, because it is going to probably go up to about 4.5 to 5 before it actually finishes burning off the remaining bit of coal. And as you can see, both of them have finished, and since it has a high signal now, both of them shut off. But as soon as I flip this lever back, it should make both of these go on again. So what I want to do, probably want to go ahead and short circuit this with a lever. That way, if I want the system to go ahead and stop, it'll automatically get a high signal on both of these guys. I think this one should be enough to get a high signal all the way around without any problem. That way we don't have any kind of issues. So let's go ahead and take a look at this guy again. We do have the 2 pressure chambers, and let me take a look at this. I did put one in there before, but I think I put it in sideways, so it was actually unusable. So I went ahead and took it out just to look at it, and it does look like by looking at the if you hold shift, it'll give you the extended tooltip, and based upon how it's placed in the pressure chamber is whether or not it's going to be input or output. So let me go ahead and break the top. I do have my magnet on just in case, and it says the I is input, so I'm assuming that this one is input. It says import mode, so this one should be correct. I'm going to just put the top as import mode, and that should be fine. And over here I want this one to be export, but in order to do that I think I have to place it like on the outside direction. So let me go ahead and break a couple of these and place that guy right there. And let me go ahead and get the glass back in and one of these chamber walls just to complete this again. And you can see that this one looks a little bit different than the top. The top is just sitting there waiting for items, whereas this side is basically closed, but it's open on the inside. So that means that this one is ready to export items. And if I look in the interface here, it does say that it's in export mode, and that is exactly what I was wanting here. So let me go ahead and place a couple of tubes. I kind of like the Ender IO tubes here because they don't take up the entire block space. If I were to put a hopper here that I did before, I wouldn't be able to access the pressure chamber interface itself, which is probably a big annoyance. I don't really want that, so let me go ahead and do it this way. Probably, how did I drop that chest? Put the chest up here, and this will probably be just fine. And here I'll want to go ahead and put this in extract mode without a signal. That should be fine. And down here I'll basically want the same thing, so let me go ahead and grab another item conduit. Make sure that one's export always without signal. That is fine. And this one's insert, and this should allow me to put stuff in and get stuff out. So let's go ahead and test that real quick. This is kind of an annoyance being up there. I might actually move that to be a little bit reachable. So let me go ahead and break the chest there and maybe put it right there. And this guy, let's go ahead and make sure that he is on extract always or without a signal, and that should be fine. If I were to put in some seeds, that should start putting the seeds inside of that pressure chamber. And it does look like they're getting pulled out nearly immediately, as you can see. That is not the expected behavior that we want. So what we want to do is go ahead and filter them. And that is really annoying that both of them are opening and closing. And another thing to note is whenever they open and close like this, they are going to lose a little bit of pressure. Not as much as breaking the side yourself, but it's still quite a bit of pressure that it's losing with that. So what I want to do is I can filter on anything that contains plastic. And that is probably good enough for my little test here, because these seeds themselves, they're just interplant seeds, so they don't have the word plastic in it. But all of these different types of plastics, they do have plastic in their name. So this means that the export will only pull out the things that have the name plastic in it. You do have the ability to set a list. Let me go up here to this one real quick. You can put an item filter of exact items. That'll give you 9 slots. And of course, because of the oh, that is loud. The pressure chamber itself has 6 sides. You do have the ability to have, besides at least one export, you'll need to have, I don't know, 6 different types of filters. If you were to do it that way, might use the item filters directly like that at some point, but I think for now, just using the word plastic might be sufficient. And opening and closing, it's keeping it really low on our pressure, so we really don't want that. We could throw in a couple of speed upgrades in here. I don't know if I have enough materials for the speed upgrades, but let's go ahead and take a look. Pneumatic, and there are different types of upgrades that you can put in the slots, and one of them is a speed upgrade. Lubricant bucket. What is lubricant? I do not think that we are at a point to create any kind of lubricant. Is there another way to create that? Doesn't look like it. Lubricant. Looks like we can use a, I don't know what that says. Thermo. Is that thermo? Or is that, I don't know. It's kind of blocked out there. Something pneumatic processing plant. Pneumatic. I don't know what that word is. It's kind of partially covered up. I guess that's the only way to create lubricant, and that is creating it from diesel. And we haven't really got into any kind of fluid yet, and we'll probably do that in the next episode. But let's take a look at some of these others. We probably do need an item life upgrade, because if for some reason an item is stuck inside of the pressure chamber for a really long time, we don't want it to disappear on us. I think that would be bad, because if there's not enough pressure and it's just sitting there, it's just going to disappear. So we do want to have some sort of item life upgrade. And that, with PneumaticCraft, will basically extend the ability to not despawn the items that are inside of the pressure chamber. So let me go ahead and create a clock. I don't really want to use the aluminum brass one. Let's just use the gold recipe. Let's just create a couple of these. That should be fine. I really don't know how many of these I need. Can use in most machines upgrade functionality on the machine. It doesn't really say, but I do have the materials. Let me go ahead and create all of the ones that I have. We could take a look at some of these. Doesn't really give a lot of information. Dispenser upgrades, item life upgrades, entity tracker upgrades, block tracker, speed. We'll want to get into that, but of course we need to figure out that lubricant at some point. But it looks, Thermcraft upgrade, that's kind of interesting. That's only used in the pneumatic helmet, so that's not going to really help us for this. Volume upgrade. We are not ready for that. So really, I guess it's the item life upgrade is the only one that we can really do right now. So let me go ahead and throw this. It's not in the interface, it's just anywhere in the pressure chamber. I don't know how many I need. It doesn't really say. I'll have to check the wiki just to see like how many of these upgrades I would actually need to make sure that nothing actually despawns in the other world. But might as well go ahead and finish up the seeds that we have. Seeds. Doesn't look like we have too many left, but we might as well go ahead and get rid of all of the seeds because we're not going to be using seeds long term. And wow, that is really obnoxious. So I want to make sure that I stay far enough away from this guy. That way we don't have to listen to it opening and closing all of the time. But I think that's going to be good for that. That'll at least get us through the entire handful of the PneumaticCraft seeds. So let me go ahead and clean up inventory, get situated, and I will be right back. Alright, I am back, and I just wanted to double check this system, and I am not exactly sure what's going on. For some reason, this one is continuing even though it has a power of 2. It's kind of scaring me. Why is it actually going above that? I might end up having to break a tube real quick just to lower the pressure, because this is getting really close to the breaking point. I might have to play around with these numbers a little bit better, but let me go ahead and shut it off just to be on the other safe side. That way I don't have any kind of weird issues. It might be because I put this here. Yeah, that's probably what it is, to be honest. Yep. I am almost 100% sure by putting that lever there, it diverted the redstone over and didn't connect to this air compressor anymore. So let me go ahead and leave that off, and I'm pretty sure that now that this both have redstone power, this should shut off on both sides. So that was really my mistake. You do have to make sure that doing redstone, it actually is a direct connection, and if it goes off to the side, it is not going to be connected. And there we go. We are good on both of these, and we have... Oh, for some reason I thought there was an actual creeper up there. We have all of the plastics taken care of, and I don't know why my man tablet's in there. Everything seed-wise, I don't think there's any other seeds that are related to PneumaticCraft. They're all converted, and we have all of the excess parts over here, which is great. And we do have a good working system, but unfortunately we do have to wrap it up for today. Unfortunately, this is a pretty good system. I don't know how far we're going to go with PneumaticCraft, as I mentioned before. I just have to take a look at all of the different kinds of recipes that I can make with these, just to see what I'm going to do. I know that you can create drones and stuff like that with PneumaticCraft. I really don't know a lot else. Might have to take a look in between episodes just to see, but we at least have the basics going. I would like to get into a conversion of oils into all of the different types of plastics because of the seeds were deprecated. Obviously need to look at the new mechanisms. So I do have to wrap it up. I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you could rate and comment down below, it'd be greatly appreciated. And also, if you like the series, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But for now, this is goodbye.